Good morning, students. We have started with the concept of graphs. Hope you all understand the basics of the basics with regarding to graphs, graph definition, and what is an edge, what is a vertex, and what are the basic concepts in the graph that we are discussed in the last video. Now coming to the graph representation. So how we are representing the graph. So as we said, graph is a linear data structure. Whenever we take trees, for example, whenever we are explaining about trees, we use a node data structure for trees. Similarly, in order to represent trees, we are using arrays in order to represent the trees. Similarly, here also, the graphs can be represented in two ways, that is sequential representation and linked representation. So what is sequential representation? Sequential representation is nothing but array representation. Linked representation is nothing but using linked list representation. So coming to sequential representation, how graphs are represented in sequential representation is the graphs in sequential representation are represented by using adjacency matrix. That is why we are calling it as an adjacency matrix. Instead of adjacency matrix, we can call them as 2 by 2 matrix. We are what is the type of matrix we are using is we are using 2 by 2 matrix. That is simply we are using a two dimensional array for sequential representation of graphs. We are using a two-dimensional array for sequential representation of a graphs. So whenever we consider a two-dimensional array, how the two-dimensional array means it will be represented in the form of rows and columns. Now how many rows and how many columns, that depends on vertices. How many vertices we are having. A graph, see here, a graph is represented in a two-dimensional array by using an order of n by n, having a dimension of n by n, where n is the vertices. It is the rows and columns. How many edges we are, how many vertices we are having, that is considered as rows, and that is also considered as the columns. మనకి ఎన్ని vertices ఉన్నాయి, అవే rows అవే columns, that is n by n. That is a graph of n vertices will have a dimension of n by n. So if I am having 5 edges, 5 rows, 5 columns. If I am having 3 vertices, 3 rows, 3 columns. If I am having 5 vertices, 5 rows, 5 columns. If I am having 2 vertices, 2 rows, 2 columns. Like this we will be representing. Now how we are defining it, we can explain explain the graphical representation by taking a simple examples of the graph. So whenever in the basic concepts of graph, we are represented two types of graphs. One is a directed graph, one is an undirected graph, and the other one, there is another note, there is also another kind of graph, that is weighted graph. Now taking these three, how we represent these three with an sequential representation, how these three are represented with a linked representation. How these three are represented with a linked representation. Now first taking an undirected graph. So you know what an undirected graph is. An undirected graph is a graph where each and every vertex has a edge where every vertex has a edge to another vertex. So this is an undirected graph with 5 vertices, 1 2 3 4 5 vertices having edges to 1 vertex. Now representing it in a linear representation, that is a sequential representation. Sequential representation is representing this undirected graph using two-dimensional arrays. Now two-dimensional array means 5 rows and 5 columns. That is we are having 5 vertices, so 5 rows, 5 columns. Now how we are been representing, so a vertex, if we are having a vertex, if we are having an edge from one vertex to another vertex, then it is denoted as 1. If there is no edge to vertex, then it is denoted as the 0. That is the computer representation. Why we are maintaining these two-dimensional array, why we are maintaining these linked representation is, suppose consider Google Maps, where we have been fetching the route from one location to another location. Now how it is being representing, now what we need to identify there, we need to identify the route. So means what we are doing, we are identifying the connectivity places, moving from A to B, moving from place A to, I need to move to place E. So now from place A to place E, I may have A to B, B to C, C to E, or I may have a location A to D, D to Z, Z to Y, Y to W, and W to E, such that whenever we are moving from one location to another location, so what we are doing is we are finding the edges, that is from what is the starting point, from the starting point what is the next point, from that point what is the next point, that is called the vertex. The wherever we are having vertex between two, wherever we are having an edge between two vertices, that is denoted as 1. If there is no edge between vertices, that is denoted as 0. I hope you might be slight confusing here. I am repeating once again. Listen. So why we are using these sequential representation or linked representation is to denote the graphs in the computer memory. We are using this sequential representation or linked representation. In which areas we are been using is, in, if suppose the example Google Maps example, whenever we need to track the location, whenever we need to track the location, or whenever we need to find the route, there may be route there may be 3 or more routes displaying, but what is the shortest route that we have been considering, so that route is to be represented. So now starting from A, what is the next point for in that location, so that particular starting from A and the next point, that is connected, and that connection, those are the two vertices and the connection is the edge, like that we are identifying. So this is what we are doing here. Wherever we are having an edge between vertex, those are noted as 1. Wherever we do not have edges between the vertex, those are notified as 0. Now this is a undirected graph where we are having 5 vertices. Now starting with A to B, I am having a vertex from A to B, so it is marked as 1. So now coming to A does not have vertex to itself. A to A is not possible, so it is 0. Next A to B, there is one edge, 1. Next A to C, there is no direct edge from A to C, so it is 0. Next A to D, there is an edge for A to D, it is 1. Then A to E, there is no direct edge for A to E, so it is 0. Similarly, taking our second vertex B. So when this is as this is an undirected graph, we can move from B to A. We can also make an edge from B to A. So it is 1. B to B, there is no edge representing B to B, so it is 0. B to C, 1. B to D, 1. B to E, there is no direct edge, so it is 0. Like this, we will be representing the graph inside the computer's memory. So whenever we need to move from A to E location, we will tracing what are the locations, what are the connectivity edges we are having from A to E, such that we can identify A to E there is no direct edge, so we have to move from A to B. If we move A to B, then what happens? B to E, there is no direct edge from B to E, then how can we move? We have to move from B to D. So moving B to D, moving B to D, again from D to E, like this we will be calculating. That is, suppose with the inside representing this inside computer memory, we will calculating the route. If I need to travel A to B, so there is no direct route. Now how many ways I can move? I can move A to B, so again B to C, again C to E. Ledu or other else, what is the other way we are having? A to D and D to E. Among these routes, which is the shortest route and which takes less time, that in order to identify that, we are representing the graphs in this notation, we are storing the graphs in this format in the computer's memory. Now see, identifying A to B 1, B to C 2 nodes, and C to E 3 nodes I have to traverse here. Whereas here A to D, D to E, it is enough to traversing only 2 nodes. So in order to identify the easiest route, or in order to identifying the easiest path, these sequential representation or linked representation are used to store the graph structures in the computer's memory. Similarly, whenever we are considering a directed graph, how a directed graph is represented? A directed graph is represented by representing the directions. So now here the same, this is an undirected graph. The same graph is represented as the directed graph. Now what happens here? See, A to B having a connection A to B. So it is 1. There is no direct connection for A to C, 0. There is no connection for A to D, 0. There is no connection for A to E, 0. Now, second vertex B. B to A. Is there connection for B to A? There is no connection because it is directed graph. So in what is the direction that is representing, in that way only we need to traverse. So here it is an undirected graph. So we moved from B to A. But here it comes to directed graph. So we can't move B to A. So B to A is 0. B to A 0. B to B 0. B to C having an edge, having a directed edge. So B to C 1. B to D having directed edge. B to E 0. Like this, we will be representing a directed graph inside the computer's memory. Now similarly, consider a weighted graph. So how we are representing the weighted graph? A weighted graph is one which is a directed graph and having a number on the edge. That is weighted graph having a number on the edge. A directed graph having a number on the edges. See here, A to B having an edge 4. B to C having an edge and weight 2. C to D there is no connection. C to E having an edge and a weight 8. Now whenever we are having a weighted graph, we will take the weights as the numbers. Weights, instead of representing 0, 1, what we are taking is, we will be taking the weights A to B, connectivity. So what is the number we are having with A to B? 4. That we need to represent. Whereas with the directed graph and an undirected graph, if there is an edge, we will be representing 1. If there is no edge, we will be representing 0. But here with the weighted graph, if there is an edge, there will be a number on that edge. There will be a number on that edge. That number to be stored in the computer's memory. So now how we have been representing it with as with a two-dimensional array is taking two-dimensional array. Here n by n vertices. Now A to B having a directed edge and then its value is 4. It's having a weight of 4. So A to B is represented with 4. Now there is no any directed edge from A to any other element. So remaining all are zeros. Coming from B, B to C having an edge with a weighted factor 2. So B to C 2. Next B to D having a weight 1. So B to D 1. Next B to E there is no direct connection, so 0. Like this we have been representing, we are traversing all the vertices. So this is the linked, this is the sequential representation. Now coming to linked representation. Linked representation is nothing but representing by using a linked list. So representing by using linked list means representing using node structure. Now what kind of node structure we need to use here? So we are having single linked list where it is having a data field, that is where it is having a data field and a pointer field. You know node structure in a single linked list. Already we discussed with the second unit. A node comprises of two fields, data field, link field. Double linked list, a node comprises of three fields, left link, data field, right link. Like this we are having we are having two types of node structures. So which node structure we need to use here? So what type of node structure we are using here is, we are using a double linked list node structure. So what is the purpose of using double linked list node structure? So what the things we need to store here, that we need to identify before going to choose a single linked list node structure, or before going to choose a double linked list node structure. What we need to identify is what are the type of values we are, what is the type of values we are holding, we need to store or we are holding. So now consider a vertex A. So now A is the value. Consider a vertex as a node. Suppose now taking this A, this is the node. Now to store this node, what are the values I need to store is I need to store the node value as A, and again I need to store the next link. What is the next node of A? Adjacent nodes. I need to have the adjacency nodes. That is the address of adjacency nodes. So A is the node. From A to which nodes I can connect to? From A I can connect to B. From A I can connect to D. Like this, we need to maintain the address of its adjacency nodes, or we need to maintain the node, or we need to maintain its adjacency nodes. Okay, are you clear now? What is the structure of a node, or what are the values that are what are the values that are to be stored in the node is node value. Apart from node value, it adjacency nodes or it adjacency node addresses. So that what is the node structure we are using is, we are using a double linked list node structure, which will having three fields: data field, right link field, left link field. So now data field is used to hold the node, and then left link or right link is used to hold the next adjacency nodes. So using double linked list, what we are doing? So double linked list node structure having three fields. What are the three fields? Data field, left link field, right link field. So the same node structure is used in graphs. So data field that determines the node. Suppose node A is the data. Next, left link and right link. Left link and right link will hold its adjacency nodes. What are the next nodes connecting to A? So it may be B and it may be D. It will be B and it will be D. Adjacency links. If there are only one connecting node A, B, and next will be the null. That is the representation. So that we will be using double linked list node structure. Comprises of value field and pointer fields. Pointer fields are nothing but next nodes or adjacency nodes. Now consider here, check here. This is an undirected graph where we are representing this undirected graph in a linked representation. A, this is the starting node A. So apart from A, this is the node value. Now what are the other nodes we need to store? So A will have adjacency nodes as B and D. So A will have B, and then A will have D. After 2D there are no adjacent nodes to the A, such that it will be representing as the null. So actually we need to represent it like this: A, B, D. Instead of representing like this, this is the node, our actual node A, and its adjacency nodes, left node or right node, like this we will be representing. This is the adjacency nodes. Actually this is the type we need to represent, but for easy understanding we are representing in this notation. Starting node A2 we are having connectivity to B, and next having connectivity from A nunchi B. Same again from A2 we are having connectivity to D. So A will hold its two adjacency nodes. After 2D there is no node, so making it as null. Similarly if B is the starting node, when B is the starting node, it have adjacency nodes A, C and D. So A, D, C, and then null. Like this we will be representing. If C is its adjacency node, now you may have a doubt here. Suppose so we are representing double linked list structure, but here B is having three adjacency nodes, A, D, C, three adjacency nodes. Remember, whatever it, we will have the adjacency nodes list here. B is the starting node, so B will have adjacency to A. Now A will have adjacency D will have adjacency C. Like this we will be representing. So similarly C is having adjacency nodes B and E, D having adjacency B and A, E having adjacency D and C. So as with undirected graph, we are representing, we may have three nodes, we may get three adjacency nodes to a single node, but when we take a directed graph we can solve this. We do not have such kind of issues with a directed graph. See, let's see the directed graph. So with the directed graph here, check directed graph, A will have adjacency to B only. There is no other node such that null. Now B having adjacency to C, D, null. So it satisfies the double linked list node structure. So in almost all the cases in graph examples, we will be representing using directed graph and the weighted graph. So similarly with the weighted graph, when coming to weighted graph, what happens with weighted graph is, in a weighted graph, apart from storing adjacencies, we need to store the value of the particular edge. So having connectivity A to B, having connectivity A to B, and then its value 5. We need to store the value inside the node. So apart from storing, apart from here up to the directed graph, we are storing only nodes, adjacency nodes. Now with a weighted graph, what we will be storing is, we will be storing value and then its adjacency node. This is how we are been representing graphs in sequential representation and linked representation. And there are when coming to graph operations, the basic operation, that is traversal operation, moving from A to E. I want to move from A to E. What is the minimum path that I can move from A to E? Suppose consider in a directed graph, I am taking the directed graph. I want to move from A to E. How can I move? A to B, B to C, C to E. That is the path we are having. Or else I will come A to B, B to D, D to A. Like this we will be representing A to B, B to C, C to A. If at all other than, is there any other routes? That is traversing. Graph operations means, what are the operations we are having on graphs is traversal operations, which represents what is the minimum path to travel from one vertex to another vertex. For that, in order to find that minimum path from one vertex to other vertex, we are having two graph traversal algorithms, that is BFS algorithm and DFS algorithm. So moving to graph traversal algorithms, we are having two types of algorithms, BFS algorithm, DFS algorithm. BFS, breadth first search, DFS, depth first search. So the name itself indicates breadth first search, vertex A, level by level, moving level by level, depth first search. So it won't comes level by level, it comes in a different criteria, whereas breadth first search will comes level by level. As we discussed level order in trees, you remember level order, trees lo level order చెప్పున్నాం. As we discussed level order in trees, root node, next root node level 1, next level 2, next level 3, next level 4. Like this we will be traversing all the nodes in a graph by using BFS algorithm. These graph algorithms BFS and DFS use the concept of queues in order to store the graphs, in order to store the traversing nodes. It will be using the concept of queues. Now moving to graph traversal algorithm, what is the BFS algorithm is, it is level by level. So first make all the nodes in the graph to ready state. That is step 1. BFS algorithm step 1, status equals to 1, that is ready state. Make all the nodes in a graph G. Make all the nodes in graph G to 1. Make all the nodes in graph G, that is G here. Make all the nodes in graph G to 1, ready state. All the nodes are in ready state for traversing. Next, take a node, NQ operation. We are using queues. Now traversing, I am moving from A to B. Take A, insert into Q. That is NQ operation. So you know NQ. Hope you did not forget it. NQ, operation on queues. Entering values into a queue. NQ, simple queue. NQ means simple queue. Entering values into a queue. That is using front and rear operations. So now after setting all the nodes of a graph to ready state, now NQ the starting node. Move starting node into queue. Take a queue, move the starting node into queue. That is set. Now make it set status to 2, waiting state. Ready state, when the node moves into queue, it becomes to waiting state. So it is a traversed node. So it is traversed. Now I traversed from A. I need to move to another location. Either I may move to B or either I may move to D. So now move the adjacent nodes into Q. So move adjacent nodes into queue. So starting node is moved to status to waiting state. Now what we need to do, we have to move the adjacent nodes into queue. When we move the adjacent nodes, there is no need of the visited node. So delete that visited node and then move the adjacent nodes. Remember, listen carefully. So first make all the nodes to ready state. Suppose consider the following example. I need to traverse from A to E. So now I am taking starting node as A. Now moving it into Q. It is ready state. Now moving it into Q makes it to waiting state. Now after E, I can move for B or I can move for D. There are two ways. I can move for D to F. Again, there may be I may having a channel moving to D. I may have a channel moving to B. So two adjacency nodes for A are B and D. Now we need to push them. We need to insert them into Q. Not push. We need to insert adjacency elements into Q. Before inserting adjacency elements into Q, delete the visited element. That is, delete the A. That is what I am performing here. Repeat steps 4 and 5 until Q empty. What are the 4 and 5 steps is DQ a node. DQ delete from Q. Delete a node, that is delete a node from Q and make it status to 3, that is visited, processed state. Ready state, waiting state, processed state. A is removed from Q. Now, what are the elements to enter into Q? NQ, all the neighbors of the node. All the neighbors. What are the immediate neighbors of A? A, what are the immediate neighbors of A? That is node A. Immediate neighbors are B and immediate neighbors are D. Now move these B and D into Q that are in ready state and set their status to 2. So repeat the process. Repeat these steps until all the nodes are traversed. Okay, this is the BFS algorithm. So how we are doing it, I am explaining once again here. We are taking, so for our simple understanding, what we are doing is we are taking two queue structures, taking two simple queues. One queue is for performing insertions and deletions. Second queue is only used for storing deleted nodes. Remember, one queue is perform normal insertions and deletions into queue. Second queue is only for storing the deleted nodes into queue. So such that what happens is we will be able to identify the path from the deleted queue. So that is the second queue. D is, that is from second queue having the nodes, the second queue which is having the deleted nodes. From that queue, from the second queue, we can have the minimum path or we can have the traversing. That is, what are the nodes to be traversed? We can get the answer from the second queue. Okay, so taking two queue structures, one queue holds all the nodes that are to be processed. Q2 holds the nodes that are processed and deleted from Q1. Q1 will store all the nodes processing. Q2 will store all the deleted nodes. From Q2, we will get the result. Now consider the following graph. This is the following graph. A, B, C, D, E, F, G are the nodes. Now what are the adjacency nodes for each and every node? A, what are the immediate adjacent nodes to A? B and D are the adjacent nodes. For B, remember it is a directed graph. For B, C and F. Next C, G, E. Similarly, noting all the adjacency nodes for each and every node in the graph. Next, what we are doing is, now we need to find the minimum path. Finding minimum path. Now which path I need? I need to traverse A to E. See, I want to traverse from A to node E. For that, I need minimum path to traverse node A to traverse from A to E, following BFS algorithm. What is BFS algorithm? What is BFS algorithm? BFS algorithm is reading a node into a queue. So this is the graph we are having. This is the graph we are having. In this graph, we need to move A to E. We need to move A to E. That should be a minimum path. Now, first add A to Q1. So what we need to do is, that is the graph, add A to Q1, taking a queue structure, two queues, Q1, Q2, two queues, Q1 and then Q2. So now add A. Now adding A. Q always follows FIFO methodology. First in, first out. Add A to Q. So a ready state is moved to Q. It becomes a waiting state. Waiting state to processed state. QA is processed. So delete from Q and entering into Q2. Next, what are the immediate neighbors of Q? Insert the neighboring nodes. Add A to Q1 and then null to Q2 as there are no elements. Now see second step. Delete node A from Q1 and insert all its neighbors. What are neighbors? B and D are the neighbors. So B, now this is deleted, B and D are the neighbors. As this is deleted, this remains empty. So B and D. Now, so now what I am doing, B is in ready state. Delete B, delete B, B is deleted. B is deleted and inserted into Q, inserted into Q2. If B deletes, then insert all the immediate neighbors of B. What are the immediate neighbors of B? C, B nunchi. What are the immediate neighbors? C and F are the immediate neighbors. So C, F. C, F are the immediate neighbors. So now, so as we move now, delete D, delete D. Now delete node B. Now delete node D from Q1 and insert all its neighbors. Delete node D. Push into D and then what we are having here after D is deleted. What are its neighbors? D, neighbors of D are F. Neighbors are D or F. Only F is the neighbors of D. F is already in Q, so no need to insert. Then remove C now. Remove C. Delete node C from Q1. So insert into Q2. Insert into Q2. Delete node C from Q1 and insert all its neighbors. So insert deleted from Q1, inserted into Q2. Now what are the neighbors of C? E is the neighbor of C. G is the neighbor of C. Insert E, G. The neighbors of Q, E and G. E, G are the neighbors of Q. Inserted them into Q1. Now what we are having in Q1 is, Q1 we are having C, E, G. C is deleted. So we are having F, E, G we are having F, E, G we are having, C is deleted. Now after C, D is completed, traversed. Now what is F? What is the node here? F, first in, first out. F is inserted first. So first in, first out. F is deleted. What are the immediate neighbors to F? So repeat the process. Like this, we are repeating the process. That is what I am giving. Likewise, similarly, traverse all the nodes. So now C is deleted. C, then F is the node. So first in, first out. F is deleted and inserted into Q2. Now, what are the immediate neighbors of F? A is the immediate neighbor. It is already visited and traversed. No need to move. Then completed. Next, E. So E, delete E from 2 and insert into Q1. So E, what is the immediate node? B, which is already traversed. F, which is already traversed. Next, what is the other node remaining? G. So delete and insert into Q. G, what are the immediate neighbors? E, which is already traversed. Now, what is the minimum path that is obtained? See, A to B, B to D, B to, if we move B to D, there is no chance of moving B to D. So eliminate B here. What, how we are having now in Q2? This is the nodes in Q2. Finally, what the nodes we got in Q2 is A, B, D, C, E, E, G and F. Like this we are having A, B, C, D, E, F, G, not G, F, F, G. Now, how the minimum path we need to take? So, minimum path from this, take the minimum path A to B, A, B. Can I move B to D? So, after B there is D. Can I move B to D? So, there is no possible of moving B to D. So, eliminate traversing from B to D. I am not moving from B to D. Delete it. Remove this node. Next, B to C. So, B to C. Moving B to C and then C. Then C to E. C to E. This is the traversed. So, this is the minimum path that is obtained in traversing A to E. Okay, so listen this video carefully, practice this graph, and tomorrow I will schedule an online discussions regarding with these concepts. Thank you. Tomorrow we will have an online discussion regarding to this. Thank you.